Well, howdy doody, I'm back. What are we doing now? What are we doing now on the Ice HTV Creator Iceman? What are we doing now? What am I up to now? You know, not so long ago, you'd be like the guys on an adventure to go buy yet another vehicle. And that was so true so many days. About every 10 days, that about happened for a while. So here we are, getting in my nice, clean F-150 truck that I went out of my way yesterday to clean. And I got to thinking to myself this morning, it was like, wow, why wouldn't I drive my nice, new, clean, freshly used F-150 Lightning truck? I mean, for the record, for the business I'm in, as far as for the money spent on energy, this is far more efficient. Now, as far as the amount of money you spend to get that, it doesn't work. Because these electric trucks are just so expensive. But what are we doing? I'm going to ride around, go to work, just like you. I can go to work. All the dogs locked down the barn. And I'm only hoping that they don't defecate everywhere today. But who knows? But now, what's pretty cool here is on this truck is you have all these different settings. One nice thing is it has a home link. Hello, Chevrolet. But you have different settings. So you have normal, sport, off-road, tow, and haul. And I got the one pedal drive, auto hold, and I'm going to go to sport mode. That sport mode really does wake up this vehicle. And if you're looking for the efficiency side of it, then that'll take that away a little bit, not a lot. Let me go over here to the mailbox and put mail in. But this vehicle, I haven't driven this vehicle so long. It's even for me incredible to think that I've owned this very expensive truck and I haven't really enjoyed it. And I mean, this really is a very expensive vehicle and it's a very luxurious vehicle. It does give you a lot of nice amenities, the heated seats, the cooled seats, the adaptive cruise control, the Blue Cruise. I feel like I was one of the first really out there, not, you know, the first, but I was one of the select few that first got the F-150 Lightning truck with that Blue Cruise, and it enabled me to go out and show everybody else how crazy this technology is. Here's a deer that is too bad. I've been tempted to take my tractor, pick the thing up, and take it to the field, but it's so risky around this sharp corner. I'd have to have somebody go up the street and kind of park around up here. I'd have to have like my wife or Brian or somebody have their car here with the flashers on until I could get around that, get that done. It'd just be very risky. And I would take it up here and I would just dump it out there in the field on the edge just to get it off the roadway because all the vultures are sitting there. I'd just throw it over in that area there because all the vultures are now a threat. But anyways, so here we are, and this vehicle is so potent. I mean, it really is. This vehicle is very quick. And it's very comfortable. Now, I haven't driven this thing it's hard to believe even for me. It's been quite a while since I've driven a F-150 Lightning truck. Because the black one had so many issues. So for me, just for me, I would say it would be 6 months. I would say it's probably been 6 months since I've driven an electric F-150 Lightning truck. Even though this is my third one I've owned. That's even hard for me to believe because Brian has worked out of this thing for the most part since last year. Last year when the F-150 Lightning truck, black one, started having issues, I parked it and I gave him this vehicle to drive. So I don't think I've driven this truck this year. And we're now at the end of May. So I would say conservative, probably a good 5-6 months. I'd have to go through my library of the brick of the black truck. When the last time was that this guy here, who's going, who's not, as we get through here. Yeah. So for me, before I get too caught up in my own language, I need to have a little time. So this is what's cool about this vehicle is the vehicle automatically has regeneration, automatic braking through the wheel motors. So when you let off the pedal, that's just that one pedal driving, it's called. When you let off that pedal, the wheel motors act as your brake to regenerate power to help recharge the battery pack a little bit. So that's why when you're in stop and go traffic and you're I'm trying to see here, all these controls here, where we are, a lot of stuff. So you just look at this huge iPad. Yeah, they're following right off the Tesla. I mean, everybody followed Tesla in so many ways. Right there it is. So many ways of what Tesla brought to the market. The copycats followed him on all this big screen infotainment information. Now, here's the cruise control. Now, I know Brian didn't use this, so I don't know. Let's see right here. So lane system assist is on. 328. I had about 300 plus miles when I got in the vehicle from a full, I believe it's 134 kilowatt battery pack. I mean, you're talking now, 2022 is the last time I really was talking about this vehicle in great length. So it's 3 years. Even for me, it's hard to believe it's now coming up in June. It's 3 years ago I bought my first Lightning truck. That's crazy. But right now, we have the adaptive on. It doesn't have the Blue Cruise because it's not mapped. The two-way roads where it's immediate oncoming traffic, it doesn't. Let me see what my spaces are here. So this is where I can usually do a 2. So now I can set the speed, and you've seen this on other cars. Now I'm on automatic cruise, but adaptive, where it adapts to the car in front of you. And the Blue Cruise, that'll come on when I get on like another major road, a highway, freeway, wherever it's mapped. This truck will take over and drive itself to a degree. And even my Ford Power Boost, in so many ways, it's a shame I got rid of my Ford Power Boost. That really was a nice truck. And crazy me got rid of it for the F450. But that had all the technology in it. It had the adaptive cruise control and Blue Cruise. I really like that Blue Cruise. Like if I was going to Florida right now, that F-150 Power Boost that I had, that would probably be the truck I'd probably take, because the adaptive and the Blue Cruise, it just is a fatigue saver for you driving down the road. That's why right now in all my vehicles, this is the only vehicle I have now in my fleet that has self-driving capability. Which I had the Mach-E's, and 2 of those had that, and then the other 2 Mustang Mach-E's. And so for me, this is more this is what's so crazy. So the auto is off, so nobody knows how to manage these temperatures in these cars. Even Brian, who works for me, he doesn't have a clue on that auto. I've explained it to he and my daughter, same thing. Explained it to my wife. Everybody know. None of them follow the protocol on how you handle the auto environment, how you condition the environment to be a stable temperature. Nobody understands that stuff for the most part. Most people are clueless that auto feature is a very high-end addition to the accessories to the vehicle you buy, that many cars don't have auto, because that's a luxury. That's a luxury amenity added to the vehicle. I only wish this vehicle had massaging seats. But if you really watch my channel, I showed you yesterday, if I said, all right, I'm going to take this vehicle to Florida, and because I want to have the self-driving capability, well, it's going to be a 2-day adventure. And I explained all that yesterday on my cleaning my F-150 truck, and I showed that this vehicle gets about 2 miles per kilowatt. I don't know if that'll populate here. So 2.2 miles is what I get. So what you want to factor is, if you go 100 miles, you're going to burn up basically about 50 kilowatts of energy. I mean, that's just kind of a rough number. You just divide 100 miles divided by 2.2. That's going to be 46 kilowatts of energy, be my guess, 48, whatever it may be. So when you say, I'm going to go 1,000 miles in this vehicle, divided by simple number 2, that's 500 kilowatts. And this vehicle has a 134 kilowatt battery pack. So you already know that you're going to have to recharge this thing a minimum of 5 times. But it doesn't work that way, because when you're out on the road, the charging stations aren't proportional to the range of your vehicle. So you're sometimes forced to pull over early to charge it, because there's too far a distance for the next charging station. And to protect the battery pack, they only want you putting 80% of the full charge back into the battery pack to help not do harm and possibly create a fire on that battery pack as it gets so hot. So you add that variable into it. Well, 80% of 134, I mean, you take basically 20 times 100 less 20, so you're at 114, and 20% of 34 is, I guess, 7. So you're really now down to about 107 kilowatt battery pack, and versus 134. So now you factor in 1,000 miles divided by that, so you need 500 kilowatt. So you're going to stop probably 8 times at least. 8 times at least, probably more like 9, because 8 times 100 is 800 miles. 9 times 100 is 900 miles. So possibly 10 charging stops. I don't think it'd be that many, but I'd be willing to bet that. And see, this thing here has, you can see the little infrared. So that little camera is watching. This is now obstructing that infrared to see my body posture, my face posture, if I want to drive down the road with hands free. So that's why that starts chirping and telling me watch the road, because this phone is interfering with the facial recognition of where my eyes are looking, my face is looking as I go down the road. So that's what that's all about. And you see that? I think there's another one over here. See, so there's there's 2 cameras in this vehicle right now watching me drive. And what's incredible, everybody, what's incredible, on my channel, I have made so many videos and how excited I was with that new F-150 Lightning truck I got in 2022. I made so many videos. I had so many videos of showing me driving down the road, hands-free, towing with the vehicle, blah, 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 blah. But all those videos are just lost. They're lost throughout 3 years. 3 years ago, when those videos were made, and without me going through my channel and literally, which I should, but it's a lot of work, and creating dedicated, videos, create dedicated videos that show all these, what I think are more special videos, and you just have a library of them. Would that change anything? And when you go to my channel, if you saw, I know that I have my most favorite videos on there. I haven't even worked on that. I mean, sometimes I think I'm better off not working as hard making videos every day of my life. I'm better off going and taking and managing all my video content I've made and made it more into a easier way to navigate the channel to look for videos. It's all about time, everybody, and I like to talk more than do that. That's the problem. So here we go. So now we're in the stop and go, traffic. Now I'm in the routine that I've done most of my life. But once again, this vehicle here, what's nice about it is once you put the adaptive on, and see, for me, I can't remember. So I've got it down there. So I'm just trying to figure out so this person here is going 40 miles an hour. This is a 45-mile-an-hour road, and this person here is very happy that it's just traffic. And one thing I need to do, I need to call my Ford dealer, but I don't want to do it. Tuesday morning, I guarantee all the businesses were closed yesterday. The phone's ringing off the hook. All the headaches are on the doorstep. And I just don't want to be another person calling, because so many places were closed yesterday. And I know a dealership, service side, I guarantee you the phone's ringing off the hook. For everybody had problems with their cars this weekend. And more than ever, the challenge of these electric vehicles is the technology. Even the newer cars. I guarantee a tech guy today would say, it isn't about replacing motors, blah, blah, blah. It's more about all the never-ending aggravation of all this technology in these cars. We're always in software updates, always in software issues, blah, 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 blah. List goes on and on and on. I guarantee you that's the number one challenge. And they say that the future mechanic is a computer nerd. That's really what they're saying is the future. Now we got a bunch of cops. They're not there, but they're showing them. And this is a 45-mile-an-hour zone where everybody starts going 55, 65 miles an hour. So I think I'm going to take my truck to this dealership here because it's right here near me versus continuing forward is such a pain in the ass to get down to that location. Hidden up on the side of the exit ramp. Looking for the speeders coming into town. Right over there. Hoping to catch a guy going down the highway. How the hell he even gets radar on that? I have no idea, that angle, but whatever. Yeah, so now I'm an adaptive, and I'm not even staying with pace with the cars, so I'll probably just set this thing to 65 and then catch up to the pack. And then once again, I don't think it's till Route 28 that this thing goes to Blue Cruise. And for the GM's Super Cruise, if they call it, or Highway Cruise, I can't remember which one it is, they have the Tesla feature where when you put the blinker on, the vehicle still stays, the vehicle changes lanes. So if I put my left blinker on, the vehicle automatically switches lanes if it knows nothing's around it. This vehicle here, it doesn't do that. And then it goes back. And then the GM Now trailers with Super Cruise, and I think it does the same thing. I think it switches lanes, I think. But I just haven't been really caught up that much anymore into all the car stuff, because what happens is, that's the danger over all the years of me being this car guy, is you constantly are bombarded with the latest, greatest, newest, greatest things. And what happens to me is I start reading about these cars and trucks. Then you see the videos and they start baiting you. And then you start thinking, wow, I should have that. And that's what I'm the addict that got caught up in looking at all this new stuff, cool stuff. And then I just get addicted to wanting to go have it. I mean, it really is. I'm sure it's a bigger problem than most realize in society, of how many people have gone out and overextended themselves and buying toys, cars, motorcycles, trucks, have bought things that they shouldn't really have bought, but the never-ending jabbing of the media machine and journalism and the vehicles on the road and the car dealerships, it drives you to where you want something when you really don't need to have it, but you convince yourself you should have it. And so the whole point is that in the automotive industry, you never really hear much about how many people have been so harmed through through just what I'm talking about, that you get lured into buying something you shouldn't buy and you really can't afford. And how many relationships have been hurt from the guys, even the gals, that go out and buy the cars that don't need to go out and buy another car or truck. I'm sure it's big. It's just incredible. The building doesn't stop everybody. Nothing's stopping. Even though administrations have changed, people will think that because it didn't happen under Joe Biden. I'd be the first to raise my hand thinking under Joe Biden's tenure, this country was going to go into recession because of all the government handouts, all the money the government handed out during the pandemic, and everybody got comfortable sitting at home not working anymore, and everything got so expensive. You would think all those things would add up to a country that would go into recession. Highest price of energy, highest price of food, highest price of cars. Let me go through the list. I mean, isn't it incredible to think about how under Joe Biden's tenure, on how, if you think about what happened in this country, how expensive it got, wouldn't you have thought this country literally would have gone into a recession and a depression? But it didn't. It saw some of its best times in the stock market because it gained everything back it lost. And people made $1 gazillion off of the ones that right at the right time. All right, here we are. And the Blue Cruise has not started yet because I'm not on a mapped area. And that's what it's all about. It's all about being mapped, meaning it's already pre-programmed into the car of the software where this vehicle has a GPS reading, and the GPS reading then opens a door up that talks to the mapping of this vehicle that says, okay, this is a mapped area where this vehicle now knows all what this road is. This one Loudon, it just doesn't end. This place here, it's incredible. That whole development went bankrupt like 20 years ago. And either the Chinese or the Japanese, I think, bought it all out of bankruptcy, I think. I could be wrong on that. Could have been somebody else. But that's a massive, successful undertaking. And once again, it was all so the, it was all nothing. And all this land out here was nothing. And a lot of it went through very financial hardships of every developing. All right, I'm waiting to get on to the Blue Cruise capability, and that's what I'm kind of working on right now. As I get down the road and people are coming to a stop for some reason that I don't know why. But owning all these electric vehicles all these years, you always think you're going to get more miles per kilowatt out of it, and it's really the stop and go traffic. So the only way these vehicles are ever really efficient is in some ways living in the city where you're stop and go. The regeneration of the wheel motors that recharges the battery pack that gives you a longer distance. As we come around here, I'm trying to give you guys the Blue Cruise experience, and that's my goal here. If I can get it up the road here, which isn't easy with all the traffic, where people just like to kind of do their own thing and go at their own pace, and that's what they do. Maybe I had this one guy for a while. He's happy where he is. He's a happy camper. So now, let's see if I'm right or wrong. If this thing, and the thing is, I haven't driven this truck so long. Did Brian go in by accident? I don't know if there's a feature in here. There it is. Okay. Hands-free. So there it is. Now I'm hands-free. I'm no longer driving the truck. The truck is driving itself, which I like this. I mean, this is a very nice feature, and this is now the only truck and vehicle I have that does this. And it's a growing trend, and I know a lot of people out there are like, no way, I'm not going to do it. I don't want it, don't like it, and I get all that. But this definitely is the future of all of our cars, more than ever as time progresses. ICE or electric, won't matter. Gas car can do the same thing. I had a EcoBoost, Power Boost, Ford F-150 truck that would do the exact same thing. Never got the claimed mileage out of that Ford Power Boost. Never, ever got it. I bitched about that from the day when I got it. It was supposed to get like 23 miles per gallon, if I remember right. And, I think 2021 was the best I ever got. And I even went out of my way to baby it and everything else. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool in here. Now, I don't understand what's going on over here. So this should be a sink. And there's the truck. Now the cameras are watching what's going on with me. So this becomes a distraction. Look at CarMax. Everybody... So many people are predicting so many things. It's incredible how many people get paid to run their mouth all day long. And they make a lot of money. Nothing ever pans out the way they say it will. And they run their mouth all day long. And they get paid. It's just incredible. what you can do to persuade others to believe you. All the data centers, now what the hell is that? No idea, another building going up, blah, blah, blah. So now I got people coming up on me that want to do 70, 75 miles an hour, so I'll move over for them. This is a very fast, another data center. It's incredible, man. Data centers, they're just everywhere. Everywhere, just massive. It's incredible. But as we know, for all this technology that's on our doorstep, that's evolving faster than you realize, it needs all this infrastructure, these mega computers. That's all they are, mega computers. Another one, we just everywhere, everybody. This area. If the Chinese ever bomb anywhere, it's going to be this area right here. They'll just obliterate this whole area. I mean, that's what's just so unique, is DC is the number one radar spot of the world to come just destroy. And yet they build the whole mega infrastructure of the internet, artificial intelligence at its highest ever, all right here, where the most radical people would love to just decimate this place. Yeah, as I've seen, it's still hands-free. So that's why, for me, wow, you can kind of look around, you can look at things, and be careful. This here definitely is watching your body posture, where your face is, where your eyes are, so it keeps an eye on it. Back on the road again. That's my life for the most part, for the record, now that I don't have my sidekick with me anymore. So now I'm out in the field like Brian is, taking care of business. I was just thinking to myself about how I saw a Rivian truck go by, and I've had people on the channel like, you should get a Rivian. Get a Rivian. The Rivian won't work. It doesn't work for the business I'm in. I need as much storage as possible. And for me, having all the cup holders there, cup holders in the back, cup holders in the side, I mean, whether they are or not, the Rivian doesn't have all of this storage. The Rivian's not a real big truck. Rivian's probably like the Colorado in so many ways. So for me, in the business I'm in, the back bed is too small. The rear is too small for holding my gear and tools. The rear is very tight to get in and out of, if you've ever been a Rivian. So the Rivian, it's a nice vehicle, but it's a niche vehicle. I've always just said that, I don't really, what do you categorize that? Do you categorize that as a full-size truck? I would not think that would be it's a middle, it's a mid-size truck. So it's just not a big truck, but it's a nice truck.